It's Friday. Do you know where your IT pros are? We don't. It's Patch and Switch. And now two guys who don't even know what time it is because they didn't show up until 2 minutes ago? Maybe not. It's Patch and Switch. Okay.
2 minutes.
I thought you joined a couple more than 2 minutes ago.
I was in at the right time.
No, it was the right time according to the invite.
No, it's based on when it shows up. That's all.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't understand him sometimes.
Where's the other one?
The other one,
I tell you.
it's a patchless Friday or it's a switchless Friday. So
It's a neural network Friday. How's that?
it's a neural network Friday. Okay.
Upgraded our infrastructure. We're going neural network now. So Patch or Switch or whoever it happens to be this week or this time around.
It's a wireless Friday.
It's a wireless Friday. That can work. He is off with some parental responsibilities as the quintessential, is that even a word? Quintessential dance dad responsibilities.
That's right.
Driving his family over the hills to what he calls Yakastan.
It is the Palm Springs of Washington, you know.
The Palm Springs of Washington. They've got a dance competition for state. So all our thoughts and wishes, all the people that are watching today, please send your happy thoughts over to the Redmond High School dance team as they compete in state. They were in nationals last week in California. I saw in the socials. I think they got like fourth in the nation for one routine, seventh for another one. And please, I'm not a dance person, so I'm going to quote them wrong. I just know that they won some accolades, which was absolutely awesome for the team. So I'm looking forward to doing state.
I think he told me that they scored overall fourth out of 300. So
yeah, so that's awesome. It's really cool stuff. So anyway, he's off doing the dad stuff.
And well, it doesn't look like you're in your normal office.
This is the lovely life of a person that is doing some very economy-based business travel. I am in Marietta, Georgia, which is just north of Atlanta. I realize that I'm terrified of driving on these roads, 9 lanes wide, multiple divergence going in different directions, which is crazy. To speak at a conference that's actually debuting tomorrow. It's called the Atlanta Cloud Conference. It's a spin-off of a developer.
The Atlanta Cloud Conference.
Yes, the Atlanta Cloud Conference. But
You
Marietta,
said the Atlantic.
Oh, did I say Atlantic? I'm drinking orange juice. Okay, it's not coffee.
And what is in said orange juice?
Nothing. No vodka. No tequila. Just orange juice. But Steve is supposed to get us all coffees, but he's not back from the kitchen yet.
Got it. I was.
Yes.
Oh, Steve Q Lane was. Yes.
Steve Q Lane was running in the kitchen to be able to get stuff. So yeah, so I'm in Atlanta. Flew in last night. Geez, my arms are tired. But I'm going to be doing some talks, some musing on stage as a keynote, talking about the chaos of IT. How to survive it. And then also some really cool sessions are lined up for that day-long thing. So if you're in Atlanta or if you're in Marietta or someplace close, it's literally $20. It's the best $20 you're going to spend to invest is to come to this particular conference. If you're here, and we'll hang out, we'll chat, we'll do stuff.
I just typed it into the chat room, but take a Lyft or an Uber if you have a car and go over to, there is a restaurant called Q, C-U-E, has a little apostrophe before it.
Oh, yeah?
It was recommended to me by Mr. J Flow back when I visited Atlanta one time. And in the week I was there, I went like 3 or 4 times because it is that good.
Nice. Well, yeah. I'll have to check that one out. There's the traditional informal speaker dinner is happening tonight.
Of course.
And I'll have to check that one out as an option. but I'm only in and out. Like I'm in today, I'm in tomorrow, and then at the end of the conference, I'm going to be around afterwards for a little bit to socialize. But then I'm catching a 9:50 flight, 10 o'clock flight to get home to back to Redmond to be able to continue on with the rest of the weekend. So
there you go.
Nice fast one. But hey, you know what? We should probably acknowledge some of our friends and family that are here and visiting us today. We got 15 folks or so online. We've got 01 Ella. Welcome. Hello. Absolutely. Alice.
Sidra.
I know. Alice Sidra. Joey has a hard time doing this. And I always make fun of him in my head. Now I've got to do it. And it's like, it's hard. Aspen Forrester, AZ Cloud Elf, Mr. Charles, Mr. Kroll is here. The fourth, Doctor, is it Dr. ASP Nat? That could be it. Lisa B, Genescu7, Kata, again, a massive names. Kate Kowski is here. Richard Campbell is in the house, hiding and skulking away in the corner someplace. Mr. Ledwig has joined us. Thank you very much. Shadiest of Shady Pandas, Shahanala, Steve Lane, not with the coffees, but at least Steve is here. And then T. Bernard and Vizio MVP. And that was absolutely horrible. And I apologize if I'm asking your name.
It's funny because I was reading the chat earlier, and Vizio MVP, who lives in the same city as me, says that it's a nice day and there's no snow. And I'm wondering, now I'm starting to doubt that he's in the same city as me.
Oh yeah. He's up on the hill. You're in the valley somewhere, aren't you?
Yeah, because where's my? Because I was going to say, this is my front yard.
Oh yeah.
This is my front yard. Not yesterday because it was raining yesterday. 2 days ago.
Oh, nice. I like how the snow removal machine like carves just a beautifully straight line to be able to get rid of that snow, and also take out whatever small children happen to be in the way.
Well, exactly. It was a one-way street for a long time this winter.
Oh yeah, nasty. Instead of a two-way. Nice. Well, hey, Pierre, you're obviously in your place of normal dwelling, and same thing with yourself there, Mr. Shockley. Very, very nice. I noticed though you've got a sign up behind you there, Jared. What's that sign there?
This one?
That in case you forget your name or something, or what?
No, it is my old desk sign showing that was my desk because I no longer have a desk at work.
Got it.
I still have a job.
Good.
So nobody goes, oh my goodness. Now, they're consolidating a lot of the on-premises office space, especially in my organization, and they went by how many times you badged in over the past year.
Yeah, we were informed of the same thing. They had a random audit. They didn't tell anybody. They just picked a 2-week window, and if your group didn't meet the threshold, gone.
Yep.
Well, because they're consolidating it. I heard that the Bellevue office is moving back onto campus.
Oh yeah.
All of the lease space is going to be given up, and they're going to move everything into our own buildings. Yes.
It makes sense considering like how many people have opted for being remote 100% of the time.
Yeah.
My only concern with this whole process, though, is the months that they selected for me was the 4 months I was on the road, and then the 6 months I've been flying back and forth to New York because of my mother's health.
Wow. Either way, I hope your experience is not going to be that bad remote. And again,
I've been pretty much working remote all along now.
Yeah.
So, and yes, I still, Steve Q Lane, I still have the rolling office as seen on Twitter. Nice. The Jayhawk is still around. In fact, I was talking with Pierre about it. I went out last weekend, and I go out about once every 3 to 4 weeks to turn over the engines and everything. And my battery was low. The power plant engine, it wouldn't start. I got the nasty tick, 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 tick. I'm like, oh. But the generator runs off the house battery. So the generator started real quick, and the generator charges not only the house battery, but the engine battery.
Oh, nice.
So I ran the generator for about a half hour, and then main engine turned over and charged the main engine battery back up, no problem. So nice. I just got to see if there's some sort of power leak in one of my.
What do they call that? They call that vampire power or something like
that. Some sort of vampire power situation with my engine system. But the cool thing is, on the dashboard, there's a big button. And when I push that button, it bypasses the engine battery and puts the engine on the house batteries. And then I can start it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, and it started immediately when I switched. And then when I let go of the button, it was like, oh, I'm going to charge this thing now.
Like, this happened to Jayhawk because it's in storage.
Correct.
The same thing happened to me this morning because on my Jeep, because I drive it like once a week, maybe twice a week.
Yeah.
So, but I did check. It is the original battery, so from 2014. So I'm just gonna go to Canadian Tire, get some that Canadian Tire money, and get a new battery today.
Nice.
Smart idea.
So we were talking about batteries and charging. I actually had to teach my I don't know what I'd call him. I guess boyfriend-in-law. Is that what you'd kind of call him? Cam. Cam is my daughter's boyfriend. He's a long-term. He's actually very nice, very sweet, very hard worker, knows his stuff. But he's
potential in-law.
Yeah, I know. I guess that could work. He's got a 2003 Ford Explorer as his main vehicle, and he's been having the same thing, vampire leaks of power, and anyway, it died on the front of the house on the street. Needs to get it jumped, and I'm like, okay, hand him the bag of cables and the keys to one of our cars, and I'm like, okay, put them nose to nose. And then remember, it's working car red, dead car black, working car black, and then go start. That's how you do it. And I'm like, that's the only instructions I've given him. He managed to figure it out, and he did not shock himself. But he did qualify by saying, is it red, and then black? No, it's red, and then black. So anyway, he figured out how to jump it. He managed to jump it correctly. So he's learning how to maintain his vehicle correctly. Every good Canadian or every person associated needs to understand how to do a proper jump start.
Mr. Campbell is in the same, I think, like great mind things alike frame of mind. He's not worried about the shock. He's worried about the fire.
Yeah, very much so. Very
now,
much so.
I don't know about you guys. I never hook up the black to the negative pole on the batteries themselves. I always go to the ground of the engine.
Yeah, if you can find the ground or just the frame or something like that. But
typically there's a hook on the engine block that you can lift it. But with the new cars, there are so many plastic panels on it that you have to dig for.
Harder and harder to find.
Yep. No, I totally get that.
Getting a painted ground is not as good as going to the ground of the battery.
Yeah. And I know a couple of folks have said, oh, you need a battery tender, battery charger. At the storage unit I have, there is no electrical power. So I can't, if I had electrical power, I'd just plug the 30 amp circuit in. And even if I had to run it at a lower 110, 15, just to keep batteries chopped off.
I'm actually planning this at the beginning of the summer, once the snow's gone.
Mm-hmm.
A clinic for my daughters and their boyfriends, because I've had too many calls in the last winter. How to boost the car, how to change a tire with the spare and the jack that's in the
vehicle. Yep, nice.
And then change the oil. Is that advanced? Baby steps.
That's baby steps. Yes. That's tier 2 support. You're starting tier 1, man.
Nice. And the oil change typically is the car still under warranty? Yeah, go to the store.
Yeah,
go to the place where it will not void your warranty. If it's out of warranty, bring it in the garage and we'll put it on blocks and do it here.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the stuff we're talking about right now, it's very similar to the kind of things that you do for folks that are new to the IT world, right? It's like you're teaching them the basics of stuff that you've learned, and you just keep on remembering how to do stuff like that, right? So, did you do it? Did you check the physical? Are the cables all plugged in? Are things still working? Simple things like that. A lot of people don't even think about going off and doing it. Like I actually had a tech support call from my daughter in North Dakota who was doing a work assignment. And the work assignment was she had to do a screencast capture and narration of something. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's perfect. I'm like, this is exactly what I do for part of my job when I do stuff. I do demos and I narrate them. And like, what do you have to do? She's like, well, they gave me this link to this really complicated looking software called OBS. And then I think I followed the instructions correctly to be able to get the screen and then get the audio and then get the video. But I just can't figure out, like, how do I start the local recording? I'm like, here, I send her a Teams link. We connect up on Teams. She shares her screen. I then take control and then the mouse starts moving. And she's like, oh, wow, I didn't know you could do that. I'm like, yeah. Here, just stop moving the mouse. Take your hands away. I'm going to explain. Here's this. Here's that. Here's what you do. It took about 30 seconds or so to kind of explain this. I'm like, okay, now you just press the button and record, and now it's recording. And then here's where you find the recording in case you need it afterwards. It's all good. And then she's like, okay, great. Thanks so much. So I'm like, now you realize we could be like a father-daughter tech support influencer pair duo if you wanted to now. Like, we should do this. We should become.
You should have recorded it.
It's the new way of doing tech influencing with your daughter.
Yes.
Exactly. We could have posted it to the YouTube channel, man. Come on.
Yeah.
I have installed for that purpose Quick Assist on all of the Windows machines of all of my families, because at least once a month I get a phone call. What's going on with this? Oh, open Quick Assist. Here's the code. Boom.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yep.
That can work.
I was using Quick Assist with my mom before everything happened with her, and it was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. Yeah.
I used to use Team Viewers, but because I used my M365 or Office 365 account, which is like at roman.ca, and it looks like a business email.
Yeah.
They cut me off because they said you're not allowed to use this for free for commercial businesses. And I tried to contact them and say, no, this is for my dad and my mother-in-law, and they wouldn't budge. So I said,
yep. Yep.
Oh, that's hilarious, man.
KT Baker.
Yeah, but say calling up from the crowd, you got a bunch of folks that are actually commenting about, check the CMOS battery. I bet a lot of people don't even realize they have CMOS batteries.
Still.
The olden days. Oh man, checking out your IRQs, physical dip switches.
Oh God.
Stuff. I remember those days.
Me too.
KT Baker brought up that he made the family buy Mac devices, then told them later, I only work on Windows.
That can work.
I laugh at that because my sister actually, as she puts it, a Apple store puked on their house about 5-6 years ago. Oh, and they switched from everything Windows and whatever to all Macs, iPhones, you name it. And then she called me like the next week asking, hey, I'm having this problem. Like last time I heard, Apple stores had geniuses.
Oh yeah.
And she said they're not. Her response was, they're not geniuses, they're idiots.
Nice.
I have a new paperweight on the corner of my desk.
Do you now?
I don't know what to do with it.
Is this we're kind of jumping around on the concept of the show right now. We kind of almost officially did our beer money all across the board, but
exactly.
So
do we want to kind of start with the classic, if I can get it here, are the banners from the trenches?
From the trenches. Yes, from the trenches. Stuff you're working on today. That's stuff that you're actually invested in working in. Like I said, I'm doing the traditional tweaking of stuff for a session tomorrow, making sure demos are happy and things are good. I've also been working on actually a really cool thing that I'll kind of talk about. Can I talk? Yeah, sure. I'll talk about it. I was asked yesterday, 2 days ago, Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? Yeah, it was Wednesday. I'm losing. Today's Friday. Yeah, 2 days ago. To go and to take a look at the venue that they're using for Microsoft Build here in Washington, or not here in Georgia, but in Washington. And I'm like, sure, I'll come down, take a look at it, because I've never been. It's a brand new building. And the event organizers asked me and a couple of other folks to come down, and without giving us instructions of what we're going to be doing. So we volunteered, we went in, it's all good. And like, okay, so here is a map of the facilities and the layouts of stuff. And then here is your choose your own adventure of things you have to go and do. And we would like you to...
When you say here is a map, are you sharing something, or you want us to imagine that in our heads?
Yeah, imagine this. Like, they're giving me 5 pieces of paper.
Okay.
5 pieces of paper. Here's the map, one for each of the floors that we're talking about. It's marked off with different areas, different things like breakout room and lab room and blah, 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 all sort of stuff. And it's like, okay, here's your 7 tasks you have to go do. Have fun. So, basically, I was paired up with somebody. We went from place to place, and we had to try to find where we had to go. And we had to take observation notes along the way. And we also had to go in and clock how long it took us to get from place to place and how we oriented ourselves around the space. I'm like, that's really cool. So there's going to be a very interesting in-person experience to build this year. If you're able to go in person, I highly recommend it. There will be technical sessions. It's not all just going to be one-sided view of things like people have claimed in the past. They're definitely making some very dramatic changes to it, which is very interesting. And it's a beautiful building. If you haven't been there, it's called the Summit Building. It's brand new and built. And there's this really cool feature that I love, and it's called the Hiker's Trail. Use that as your anchor point, because you get it from you go in the main doors to get in. The Hiker's Trail is the length of the building from one end of the block to the other end of the block. It goes up 5 stories. That represents the building. And so it's like escalators and stairs because it's on a hill. But it's a total height difference of 14 stories. So it's huge.
14 stories?
Yeah, it's crazy. But you got to be there to see it. There'll be some videos on it, I'm sure, because it's a very, very impressive feature. But it's a great place where you're going to be able to go and hang out and connect and talk with people in this casual wood kind of space with stairs and with escalators, and a ginormous wall of glass that you look at down at the ground and stuff like that. So that was probably the coolest work thing that I did was I successfully found the cheese, and I was able to accomplish all 5 of my tasks all within the allotted time. So
Excellent.
How would you scale something like that to a conference, let's say 6,000 to 10,000 people?
What? The 5
that
tasks
experience that you had?
What do you mean scale it? If you're there, you're going to be part of the experience.
I'm just trying to figure out in my head, watching like 10,000 people run from one location to another location to another location.
Okay, so I will let you know. I will let you know. There are multiple ways of going between the floors, obviously. The largest way actually has 3 very large escalators that goes between the floors that can be turned on one way or on the other way or on both ways as required. And there's unique diversion areas to be able to go off and do different stuff. So we didn't have a problem. It was.
And are the tasks dependent on previous tasks?
Well, the ones I had to do, yes, because I had to go. It was basically simulate. Like here I am walking with my partner and my friend, and I need to go from breakout room 1 up to lab 34, which is on a different floor, and I've got to find different ways of getting there. And then I go from there to my next task of getting to the ballroom on the main floor. And then I've got to go off and find the garden terrace on that floor. And then I got to get back down to this one. So it was very interesting.
Yeah, because I'm wondering if there's a way to like randomize the tasks so that no one has the same kind of order. Kind of like Kaleidoscope on Netflix, which is the series that you can watch any episode in any.
Gotcha. Yeah. I got you. Anyway, it was pretty cool. I will definitely say.
Sounds fantastic.
Yep. Go to build.microsoft.com. sign up, online experience. If you have the ability to go to the in-person experience, it's going to be very, very neat. Some really good content that's coming up there that I can tell.
I have to share this because I think it's probably one of the best things that's been posted in a while by Mr. Richard Campbell. When conferences become escape rooms.
That could work too. And I am going to empathize with Mr. Steve Culane. There were some areas that if you do experience vertigo or you're not into heights, you do kind of want to stay away from the edge. There's this very awesome kind of place. I love heights personally. It's this danger feel. It's being paused is an actual verb, right? So there's literally one particular area you can stand where it is glass from your toes up above your head looking down, and it feels like you literally are right on the edge. So you definitely want to stay away from that area if you're not good with vertigo heights.
Nope.
Anyway.
I watch videos on YouTube of people like standing on, and my knees and legs get that ache like I'm actually standing there, and I'm sitting on my couch.
Okay, so next time you're coming down to Toronto, we're going up the CN Tower, and we're doing the outside experience. The power walk.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
They actually strap you into like a climber's harness, and they tie you
Does
to
not
the
matter.
building.
Does not matter. No.
What you been up to, Jared, besides picking up your belongings and stuffing them inside of a small banker's box?
Well, as a matter of fact, actually, I've been I got a kind of a new project that I've been working on that's been really cool, building a dashboard in Power BI.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a kind of dashboard that's going to go all the way up and be seen by SLT. So,
and in case you're wondering, SLT is Senior Leadership Team.
Senior Leadership Team. The people who report to Satya, yeah.
The Satya and crew are going to be looking at this said dashboard. So that's
correct.
That's correct. That could be a career eliminating move.
Or it could be a career extending move.
Yes.
It could be one or the other. We shall see which one it is.
So I'm curious, is your job going to change now that you're going to be more remote based and you don't have a desk anymore?
No. Actually, I was able to do my whole job remotely on the road from the Jayhawk.
Oh, yeah?
And as a matter of fact, one of the things that's changed recently is as a part of this reduction of space, one of the key limiting factors for a lot of developers was, well, I have this big desktop in the office that has to be connected to the corporate network.
Yeah.
And we don't really need that anymore. I now have what we call a dev box in the cloud. And it is in the cloud. But the cool thing about how it's all set up is we can define different dev boxes. We actually, my team is actually building what we call a DRI dev box that I can deploy right before I go on my on-call week. It has all the tools set up for an on-call engineer. Everything is all configured. And then at the end of the week, I can just remove it.
DRI?
Directly responsible individual.
Nice. I like that. Well, the whole concept of the dev box or custom designed workstations in the cloud, is definitely something we've been talking about at Microsoft for quite some time. Obviously,
we have been, and one of the huge factors for us is the capability of being able to, as a part of the definition for the dev box, we can preload a lot of our repositories so they're already cloned and ready to be connected to the repository. We don't have to spend hours, because that's always been one of the problems when you're working remote, is getting the getting all your repositories cloned and set up for that first work.
Nice. I like that.
And it's going to be helpful also for folks if they have a vendor coming in. They'll have a ready to go box in the cloud. You don't have to provide them hardware. They run the VM, and then when the contract is done, you just delete that VM.
Nice.
That would avoid the problem of the network cable cutting episodes that Rick and I were, let's just say, witnessed to at a customer a long time ago.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A contractor brought in his own machine, plugged it into the network, not knowing that his machine had been compromised in such way. And eventually the network administrators started seeing like huge spikes in traffic.
Yeah.
Like tracked it down to a specific port on the switch. Okay, what's connected to that? It's that device. They went there to realize it wasn't a device that was owned by the company, and just took a pair of scissors and cut the patch cord.
Yes.
Nice.
And put a note on the laptop to come and see them when
they come in.
Yeah.
It'll also make, frankly, being on the road easier for me, because I will be able to do the majority of my dev work on, and by the way we've got them configured, I think it's a 16-core, 64-gig VM image with a terabyte drive in the cloud.
Oh, so the cheap ones.
Sure. Sure. But right now we are trying to, we've been granted some extra budget to prove that it works. And then after we get it working, that's when we start figuring out, okay, like right now they shut off at night. They shut off at 10 p.m., turn back on at 6 a.m. They don't turn on over the weekends. You have to manually turn them on the weekends.
So the option is there to be able to manually kick them if you needed to.
Yes, you can manually kick them, but they have automation to keep them offline.
Nice.
I'm super happy with it, especially because of having the pre-baked images. Like I said, the eventual goal is not my next shift, but the shift after. I'll have a DRI, like we talked about. I'll have a DRI dev box. Mm-hmm. I'll start it the Friday before, make sure everything works, everything's connected. I use that box for a week, and then I can just delete it when I'm done.
Does that mean you don't have to carry the saw anymore?
I still have to carry the saw. Yes. We're actually trying to work with the security teams on how we could do a saw or pause style dev box.
A pause?
Pause, what's the terminology used outside of Microsoft for a privileged access workstation.
Okay.
I was about to say, let's break down some of those acronyms. Too many TLAs and FLAs here, guys.
I totally understand. The pause, or if you look at our documentation, a PAW is a privileged access workstation. But of course, we can't use that terminology internally. Just like we can't say on-call person, we have a DRI.
Yeah. Just to be special. So
exactly.
We use...
Because we need more TILAs in our life.
Very cool. How about yourself there, Mr. Pierre? What you been up to?
A couple of things. Well, a few things. Number one, I'm building a whole bunch of different sessions for a whole bunch of different conferences that I'm going to be attending between now and September. Nice. PowerShell and Automate and DevOps Summit, Tech Mentor, psconf.eu, and Experts Live Europe. So I'm building multiple sessions for that, and at the same time I am exploring AI in enterprise and operations, which I have to admit, I was very happy about the AI in M365 this morning, because it reminded me that I missed an email from Mr. Campbell on Tuesday and that I needed to reply to him.
Oh, nice.
I'm glad he doesn't know that. Oh,
pardon me?
I'm glad he doesn't know that. Oh, wait.
Oh,
nice.
So, Richard, I will be responding to your email this afternoon.
Yeah, sorry, you're talking to me for a second. Sorry.
No, we're talking through you. Oh, yeah, because me and your wife call you Richard.
You, my wife, and the bank when I'm in shit. Mr. Richard Claus. Yes. I gotta ask, just out of curiosity, Jared. What mic are you using, my friend?
I am still stuck on using my Sennheiser microphone now.
I can hear you clicking a mouse. That's how sensitive it is.
And it's right next to where my keyboard and mouse is.
There you go. So if you're wondering where those phantom keystrokes are coming from and the mouse clicks, that's actually our production main person. That's Jared making that noise. It's not us.
Yep. By the way, I'm going to say this real quick. Richard Campbell, if you sent me an email, I would reply back within the same day. That's just the kind of person I am. So
yeah. So I mean, since we're having the Richard segment right now, I just wanted to share with both of you guys and, the audience that's watching. Rich Campbell is actually going to be on campus on the 31st of March, next Friday. So we are going to commandeer and abscond away with the testing and production time slot of 9 a.m. And we're going to be doing a special edition of the Patch and Switch show with Rich Campbell. And we're going to be doing it in person in Studio C, the original Patch and Switch studio.
I thought that was a storage closet now.
No, they turned it back into a studio. So we're actually going to have some fun figuring out how to use the space. I applied for it. They still said my badge is still activated, so I can still use it. So we're going to try something different, have some fun with the Patch and Switch crew and Rich Campbell. And then, I don't know, Jared, if you want to come in for that or not, or if you're going to stay remote.
Oh, yeah.
Do that.
Are you kidding me? Yeah, I'll come in for that.
Yeah. There's only so many people we can fit in that room. It's not that large.
I remember. Trust me.
So,
I was just going to say my badge probably works better than yours because at least I have been to campus in the past week.
True. Very true. So we'll talk more about the show. If you have some ideas of stuff we can talk about or some other things you want to ask, we'll be on the socials and we can talk about that and get primed up. Joey did give me the head nod or the thumbs up in Teams to basically say that he's into it as well. So it should be fun. And we'll figure out how we're going to connect up to StreamYard and what we're going to do for camera angles and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll figure that out.
Do they still have the OBS machine in the room there?
We have no idea what that room looks like now.
So
I have
time booked on Thursday to go take a look, get things set up before Friday.
Get me involved in that. I have a laptop that was my travel laptop that has OBS all set up on it, and I can actually plug in capture cards.
Even easier, I've got a Blackmagic mini ATM mini that we can use. I want to try that out.
We will figure it all out. And you know what? Since this will be kind of off the cuff news, it'll be kind of testing in production.
Tested in production, I guess, eh? Have to figure that out. So yeah, we got to worry about the audio to come in, and then we'll do at least 2 cameras to be able to try different camera angles or something like that.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, bring the Ozbot. You can just stick it there in the corner.
Oh yeah, I never thought of that. Try the Ozbot out as well.
Hey! No bots. We want to keep human producers employed. No bots.
Yeah, Rich is obviously saying that maybe he should bring his own equipment because then at least he knows it's going to work.
It's not the equipment; it's the guys running it.
Yeah.
Hey.
Very, very true. Oh my goodness! So
you know what Richard should bring?
Yeah,
he should bring some scotch because we'll probably need it
after the show. So that's a good bourbon. We've done From the Trenches. We've done basically beer money as well because of talking about stuff with cars and with batteries and with other IT stuff that we've done over the last little years with TeamViewer and stuff like that.
Yes.
That leads us with Beer Talk. Beer Talk. This is normally where Ledwig, if he's still there, would normally leave at this point. But
you know how we can. There's actually a way we can keep Scott a part of the conversation if we change Beer Talk to Tiki Talk.
Tiki time.
Just saying.
Just Tiki time. Right?
Whiskey talk?
Tiki talk. We could actually probably bring Scott in to talk tiki with us.
Yeah. See if we can work out that kind of magic. But I don't know if I'm going to be available to try out any of the local establishments because it's so short of a time period that I'm here for in Marietta, Georgia. So that's kind of sad. But I am wearing
a greasy spoon to have biscuits and gravy in the morning.
That is on my list. We'll find out. We're probably going to be doing your ye old traditional pizza in a box for lunch at the conference. Looking forward to that one. And then after, I think we're going to try to find some place after the conference to be able to go off and have at least one beverage of choice before I have to take off in the car to head back to the airport.
Q, they have beer.
Yeah, could be a place to go. We'll find out.
Yep.
So for my Bellevue Brewing fans that are in the neighborhoods, I'm wearing the T-shirts. Awesome stuff. They do have a new Vienna lager, which is on tap, which I definitely recommend. I need to go back and pick me up some of that. And supposedly they have some other new stuff too, but I think that might be at their smaller location known as Side Hustle. They've got some different styles of beer that are there. I'm looking only at Jared because he's the closest one besides Pierre, which is in Ottawa. Have you been there in the last month or two?
I have not. We've talked a little bit about why not recently, at least to the main dining experience. I might go to the old dining place.
Oh yeah,
and get a pizza and some beer.
Pizza's a good way to go, as always.
It is.
Yep, as always.
But it's I'm honestly, since I got back from my last New York trip and then I went to Phoenix and back, I haven't cooked. I've been eating out almost every meal, and I got to stop that. So I gotta start cooking again. I'm in my head. It's how do I cook again? How do I do this?
Yeah, I hear you there, my friend.
Speaking of cooking, I've had one of my girls' boyfriend.
The boyfriend-in-law?
Hey?
The boyfriend-in-law?
The boyfriend-in-law that has asked me to teach him to cook. So he came over one night. I made a spaghetti carbonara from scratch. And he's like, this is really good. How'd you do this? I said, well, next time we make dinner, come in a little early and we'll make dinner together. Absolutely. I want to learn to cook. I'm like,
yeah. There you go.
Nice.
Well, he's going to need to because my daughter has no interest. She says, I have skipped the dishes on my phone. Why should I learn to cook?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Nice. But
so I don't know if you're interested out there, Jared, but occasionally we get these things that are called Home Chef, one of those order places. The difference being is that they give you just the portion sizes that you need and the different pieces to be able to make different recipes of different styles. And normally they do sell them in 1 and 2 packs, and then they go higher, obviously.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to go in and instead of only having to buy three spring onions. That's all you have to buy.
I used to get a couple of those various ones over the years and tried them and loved them. In fact, I still have a lot of the recipes. My problem right now is just I've been on the road so much I couldn't buy groceries.
Yeah.
Because by the time I was like, okay, I finally can get around to those groceries, and it's been 3 weeks, and it's ooh, medical or laboratory experiment.
I thought I had 3 spring onions. I've got 12 now.
I've got 12 plus some sort of mutant offshoot of it. So now that I'm going to be here for a little bit longer, it's okay, let's go get some shopping done.
Yeah,
I do personally love to cook. I have a ton of recipes. I don't mind it. It's just I've just not been in the mindset because I've been traveling so much.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, the food that I got when I was in Phoenix, when I was hanging out with Art, John, and Peter, we got some awesome food, including some real good barbecue and also a little mon pa. It was literally the burrito shack, and it is a shack alongside the road and best breakfast burritos around. Oh my goodness. It's outside of Mesa, Arizona.
Yeah. Very, very cool.
Very cool. Yeah. So fun. Well, should we talk about some other random spending that we've been doing?
I don't know if I'm going through random spending therapy or something like that, but I've been doing some random spends for sure. Most of it has been replacing stuff that goes wandering away from my stash of stuff that I use that I don't know is missing until I need to go off and grab it. And so I've been getting some of the replacement cables as a very common item that goes missing inside of my house recently.
Yeah, I can understand.
HDMI cables?
The what?
HDMI cables that go missing?
No, the USB-C cables, the lightning cables. But the big difference is now, for some reason, all the ones that I have are all the USB-C and lightning on the other end. So they're the smaller stuff. all of a sudden people in the house are now also looking for those same ones. They're no longer using the large USB-A connections on them. So they're upgrading their cable infrastructure by stealing all of my cables without telling me. So I've been doing that. And I'm trying to find this other thing here. Hang on a second.
Okay. I was just going to say, Pierre, by the way, I got all these brand new USB-C cables. They're great.
Nice. Well, so here's an example of not been on business travel and speaking at conferences in a long time. I was a big proponent of a nice Anchor USB-C connected mini dock that would have 3 USB-As, Ethernet cable, something like, well, it's even smaller than that, but basically allow you to plug in an
12
Ethernet
port,
cable.
though.
Yeah, I know but it's too big, man. It's like you need something small. It fits in your bag. So I loaned that to somebody, and it never came back. So
you mean one of your daughters took it?
No, but even that's too big. The one I had was even smaller than that one. So that's what's missing for me right now. So yes. I literally had to go and ransack my a full-size docking station that you put underneath your laptop,
right,
to get this to work, until my replacement one of those devices from Anchor happens to arrive, which will be soon, but just not soon enough for this particular conference. Yeah, so I'm sporting this to be able to make my Surface laptop work.
So mine is the 11-in-1 that has 3 USB-As, 1 USB-C.
It's too big. Too big. I just need 1 HDMI, 1 Ethernet, and then 2 or more USB-As or USB-Cs. That's all you need. And anyway, it's on the way. It's not here in time. But the real cool thing for me is, hey, I need to have a charging stand for when I'm on the road. Go out and do something. So normally I would take. I got a bad echo going on there, guys. Someone's got their machine on or something like that. Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about, Pierre. Nice and small, and it works. It's got your USB-Cs, your Ethernet, and your HDMI out. It works great.
Yep.
That's what's gone missing. It's gone walking inside my place. The second thing that I bought recently,
I have 2 of them in my bag.
One of them's probably mine. So
nope, I bought 2.
Back in the day when you and I used to travel together, you probably lifted mine and then you kept it for yourself as a spare.
No, I ordered 2 because mine grew legs.
Yeah. So the second thing I have with traveling, because last week I was in Oxford, Mississippi, watching softball with my daughter because she was playing in her first tournament down that way, which was awesome. But then you need to have your charging apparatus, right? Something when you plug in at the hotel, you have enough cables to be able to charge your devices overnight to be able to be ready for the next day. So my charging apparatus is this thing. All the cables. This is a single foldable plug. It's an Anchor, and then it's got
hashtag not sponsored.
Got it. It would like to be. The problem here is it's so top heavy. When you plug it in, it pops out.
Yeah.
So I solved that problem, as you saw from the light that I just had up next to the bed. I take a Velcro tie and I tie it around the light so it holds it up and stays plugged in while it's there.
Rick.
So this is not the good solution, but it is a very powerful little plug-in.
Rick, did you take everything out of the box that came in?
I did.
Because there is a shroud that goes around it because they know it's top heavy. That helps it hold. Yes.
I missed something?
You missed something.
Wow.
Because I have that same plug.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell is this plastic piece? And then I'm like, oh my God, it's a shroud. And when I plug it into the wall socket that's loose, it still seats properly.
Well, I bought another one, but I didn't bring it because I left.
Look for the shroud.
So I forgot it. So the other one that I bought is another version of this by Anchor, but it actually has a big piece on the bottom, and it's actually a 10 milliamp hour battery as well as a plug. So that way, if you take it on the road, you unplug it, you then put it inside your bag. It fits with airline regulations to be small enough to be able to carry it. And it has the ability to work as a battery plug-in as well.
And when you say 10 milliamp, do you mean 10,000 milliamp?
Yes, 10,000 milliamp hours.
Okay, because I'm like, a 10 milliamp battery is going to go like that.
and then finally, the last thing that I bought recently was a battery pack. Nothing fancy with this one, which you've seen before. But the difference is for this one, it has a
Qi charger.
A charger that's magnetic that works for my phone that I can also now just put at my desk and use my phone as a stand or next to the bedside table. And it's a battery as well. So basically I can plug this in and use it like a regular charging stand option, or I can unplug it and take it with me and it's a battery. 3 different choices. But that's my random spend. Replacing stuff that my family's stolen off of me.
Exactly. No, I understand the stealing, trying to make sure.
They've expanded with it.
Yes.
Got the big words not working today. Brain's not happy. Mr. Shockley, any random spends recently?
Most of the random spends lately has been trying to, one, I extended the lease on my apartment here. I'm not going to be going on the road this summer, so I'll be sticking around the Seattle area. And I have to say my procrastination actually helped me this time instead of hurt me. I got an email on the 32nd day before my lease was up from the company saying, "Hey, you've been a good renter. We would love for you to renew for a year. Here's your lease, current lease. I pay so much a month. And your new lease rate," and I was expecting a huge, they only upped it like $30 a month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So they need the apartment rented. So they basically gave me that. But I have that, and I've been slowly but surely getting the office thing set up. I actually bought this Anchor 11-in-1 dock, and I bought the 11-in-1 because I wanted not just HDMI. This is HDMI, DisplayPort, and it's got card slots so I can plug my DSLR memory chips into it to be able to.
Again, hashtag not sponsored.
Hashtag not sponsored, yep. The other thing, though, that I've been getting set up to purchase is things like I had to find specifically, and you can't buy these anywhere except I found one on Amazon, and I hate that I have to pay Amazon for this, but a mount for my microphone arm for my Go XLR that I can screw into my desk. Almost everything is the damn clamps, and my desk is too thick for a clamp.
Oh, yeah?
The Rode PSA comes with a desk. You have to drill a hole and put it in, and it screws from underneath. So it's also a cable pass-through.
Okay. I might have that then, because that's my arm. I might have what I need. Excellent.
Look in the box.
Yep. Plus, then I have to do some fun because the one nice thing, even though I didn't take my desktop home from work because I don't need it anymore. I had a HP Z4 that's a few years old. And when I asked our admin about a refresh to a laptop, she laughed at me. So that's not possible right now. Budgets are a little tight. But I was able to bring home my 2 LG 32-inch 4K monitors from work, the same ones I used on the road last summer. And so I'm trying to figure out how to mount them to the desk. Again, I have to have, because my desk is thicker than most because it has drawers. So it has a thin top, but it has drawers. And then, so I'm trying to figure out where to mount on the desk, be able to mount both monitors. I brought the monitor mount from work home too, because if I go back on the road, that's the monitor mount I want to use, just like I did last time, because I can quick release the monitors out of it.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yep. Yeah, they were really cool. We had a couple of great things. Actually, Pierre, what about yourself? What are you looking at doing some random spending on?
Oh, 2 things. One, Jeep parts. The the wheel hub bearings in the front are a little worn, and so I have to replace those. And while I'm at it, I might, because it's a 2014. While I'm at it, I'm going to do the ball joints at the same time, because I got to take everything off. Might as well. I'm even contemplating replacing the universal joint in the axle at the same time while everything's taken apart, so I don't have to do it twice. So that's been a lot of, well, not a lot. I'd say probably about $1,000 worth of parts for the wheel hubs and the ball joints. And my prime minister, my finance minister, my better half, the love of my life, and the ruler of this castle, has identified a bathroom that needs to be renovated. So I've been buying vanities and shower tubs. And
that's why you were looking at tiles the other weekend. I'm like, why? How did he get himself dragged into tile shopping?
Yes,
nice.
And it's one of those. What do you think about those? They're okay. How about
those? These ones? They're okay.
They're okay.
What about those ones? They're okay.
They're okay.
Then how about those? No.
She was just.
You get the ones that you're like, absolutely not.
Like, these are all the ones I don't care about or I don't mind about, and this is the one I don't want to see in this house.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, I've had a few friends that have like saved me from this. Please.
Oh, Aspen Forrester says that his random spending was 2 tickets to go see Peter Gabriel.
Nice, very nice.
No I just went to see Toto and Journey last week. It was outstanding.
Nice. Shall we jump over to the naming segment?
Oh, yes. If you haven't done so already, I've seen some people go through and make suggestions on words to use for the next show. Normally, you just go into bang word and then put in the word you want to suggest. And then you can go and vote for which word it's going to be at patchandswitch.showbot.tv. And we will randomly pick some words that we think are funny.
Well, we've got No Snow Joe, Claus Keynote, CD Note, Tick Tick Tick, Canadian Tire, IRQ, CMOS, Small Language Model, Napple, DRI DevBox, Richard, and Velcro.
Nice.
Well, I think DRI DevBox would have to be one of them.
You want DRI DevBox?
DRI DevBox is a good one. And I think we should pay homage to the Richards. So we should have Richards on there too, because Richard will be with Richard inside the room for next week. And then, someone's going with...
Tick is getting a whole bunch of votes.
Yeah, a whole bunch of votes, all 2 of them.
Well, compared to everything else, it's the top of the list.
There you go. Tick, 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 DRI DevBox Richard, I think, are the winners for the next show that happens to be there. And if you haven't noticed, we are available inside of your favorite podcasting directory to be able to look for the Patch and Switch show. And yes, you can get the audio versions of this, just so you can listen to as pure background white noise for geeks as you go to sleep.
And there's an added bonus on that one.
Huh?
You don't get to look at us.
True. Very true. Because they all say we have faces for radio.
Exactly. Well, we should probably let the band start here.
Yeah. Well, thanks for pulling us in there, by the way. I appreciate making the time.
Oh, that's something we have to test next week.
I can go off and try to say them again. Thanks a lot for joining us. See you again next week, coming up very soon. Shout out to Ella, to Absolblock and Lootly, Alice. This is going to be horrible. Alistra, Aspen Forrester, A10 joined us. Mr. Crowell is there too. Commander Root, Dr. ASP Nats, Elysian, Liz B, Janice Q7, Kata, KMC Farronkowski, KT Baker. Mark joined us too. There's Mr. Minion, Rich Campbell, Scott Legwig, Shadiest of the Shady Pandas, Shanalua. I'm so sorry about that. Snorenfisker. Mr. Steve Q Lane. I'm still waiting for my coffee. And Visio MVP. Hey, thanks for joining, everybody.
Have a weekend.
Have a weekend, everybody.